Okay. All right. Aaron, one of the things that I tried to try to do is there's the beginning of the book. There's going to be a significant dynamic on what is called the Penn Way. Thank you. And so I want to talk about, once those guys boogie out of here, I want to talk about the Penn Way the Penn Way is, it's really interesting, because if you listen to everybody's idea of what the Penn Way is, the athlete's version of the Penn Way is different than the coach's version of the Penn Way versus the administrator's version.
And I got all three.
But and that's the reason this is such an important dynamic.
Yeah.
So
no, you're absolutely
you know
right.
what I mean. So this is going to give us the most unique standpoint. So okay, let's talk about the Penn Way. Speak up.
Sure.
So we can get those.
Are you just doing chest? I mean, I need to sit up or.
Sorry. So talk about the Penn Way, starting it from a student's perspective to a coach's perspective, administrator. So go ahead.
Sure. Paul, do you want me to look at you during this, or look here? Look at the camera. Okay. The Penn Way to me as a student coming up in PHM. Yeah. Well, you just want to move them. That's gonna.
I just thought so.
Hey, Chris.
He's not going to be able to
Chris,
control that.
Keep it down. Corey, slap him upside the head down there.
I think it was me.
All right, go ahead.
All right. As a student athlete coming into PHM, up higher.
Yeah, speak up
right.
louder. Go ahead. Starting at 3, 2, 1, go.
Coming into the Penn program as a student athlete, you learn right away what the Penn Way is, and that's hard work, commitment, and a dedication to extreme excellence. And it's led by students, and the athletes, your seniors, lead from an early age, and that was evident even as an elementary kid. I would come to the football camp, and it was run not by the coaches but by the student athletes, and those guys became idols. I wanted to be them when I became a high school and when I came to high school and was a Kingsman. And they were with us from a middle school. They would come to a practice, and we would want to be them. We'd want to wear their helmets. We'd want to wear their shoulder pads. We wanted to wear the black and gold.
All right, let's talk about it. Now we're going to move it on up. As you look at the Penn experience of just being a student athlete going out there, is there a Penn experience as a football player that transcends anything that you've ever experienced?
Clarify that for me.
Okay.
I'm a little confused where you want me to go with that.
Was there a moment when you were playing Penn football as an athlete, then you realized this is something that I'll remember for the rest of my life? Or was it just about the process itself?
Yeah, so I had a unique experience, obviously, being able to participate on 3 state championship teams. And so, when I was a sophomore, I was a backup, didn't get to play a role, a starting role in that experience, and got to watch my older brother win a state championship. That was unbelievable. And though, for me, I wanted to be like my older brother, and it drove me to work hard, and it drove my fellow brothers, my teammates, to do the same. And we wanted to be them, and we were able to do that as juniors. And then the challenge was, well, we've hit the pinnacle. What else is out there? And it was, that was, again, as a junior playing, that was that senior class's really legacy. We wanted our own legacy, and we had something to prove. And so we knew we wanted to be something special. We wanted to be something more than just, happy with the results. We wanted to be the best in the state.
I talk about Coach Giesman's influence on you and that amazing coaching staff that you were surrounded by every single day.
Well, and if you've ever heard Coach Giesman talk, every coach on his staff is a head coach. And so, they're phenomenal. And, your relationship obviously begins with your position coach. And that position coach, works with you day in and day out. But we knew who the architect was of the program, and that was Coach Chris Giesman. phenomenal gentleman who cared deeply about the players, cared deeply about us, not only as football players, but as students and as people. Played a influential role in all of our lives, driving us to be the best that we can be, and he wanted us to not only represent the school well, but he expected us to represent our families well, to represent the coaching staff well, and ultimately the community well.
Take us inside the locker room, if you can, Aaron, and about that band of brothers that are in there. I know now that you're, as an administrator, you may look at it differently, but when you were in there with that group of guys, I mean, you're part of 3 state championships. That's rare air. So tell us what it was like inside that locker room.
It was a special time, and if we could go back and do something again, it wasn't the football, it was the brotherhood, and those guys I'm still close to today. And there's not a Friday night that I don't get a text from them knowing, hey, it's almost game time. And it's very common for my phone to blow up with those guys, wanting them to know that they're thinking about me as now an athletic director, but also for the Penn Kingsmen about to compete on that Friday night. But those locker room moments and those after football moments and going through the trenches with those guys, when you go to war with your friends on a Friday night, and it's not just Friday night because we're together on Monday, we're together on Tuesday, we're together on Saturdays, bumps and bruises, we're together every day. We truly are a family, and I do view them as brothers.
Okay, I want you to talk about, pick out a spectacular player's moment, whether you may have made a big play, maybe it was just walking off the field after winning the state championship. What was a spectacular play or a moment for you, physically?
Well, for me, as a player, I mean, when we're able to finish our careers, of our high school careers in the RCA Dome, I mean, that's the moment. That moment for us was extremely special because we came back on a very talented Bloomington South team. You got Rex Grossman, future NFL Super Bowl quarterback, and on the other side of the ball. And, we left that game. We came back and took the lead on some phenomenal plays. I had it, not known to be a receiving tight end by all means, had a big catch in the state championship. And for me, though, it was celebrating on the turf with my brothers, holding that state championship trophy up, knowing that we were the best in the state of Indiana.
Okay, now I want you to fast forward to now being the athletic director at Penn High School. Expectations are high. Once again, that Penn way continues on. So give us the view from a different standpoint.
Well, what we learned in the Penn football program really is found in every program at Penn High School. And Penn High School put its name on the map through football. And you saw the excellence that grew from Coach Giesman, his plan, that staff. And really, we all got better because of him. And I say that we as a profession, the teachers felt that. They saw the hard work that a coach put in to not only being a coach, but also a teacher. And you saw that then go to academics. We have very high expectations on the academic side. You've got unbelievable fine arts, and really it created that culture of excellence. And we talk about that mindset, that butterfly effect, where that small flutter of the wings touched everything, not only at Penn High School, but the entire community. And that's really what PHM stands for.
All right, final thought. Now you get a chance to listen to Chris up in the broadcast booth, but you also get a chance to watch your dear friend Corey Yeoman as the head coach. Just talk about having those two guys in your life. Really, they've been a part of your life your whole life.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't lie. I mean, I get to go to work every single day and really continue working with something that I'm very passionate about, and that's Penn athletics, but most specifically, that's Penn football. And Coach Chris Giesman, seeing him on Friday nights in the fall is unbelievable. And really, I don't know if at the end of the season I'm sad because the season's over. I'm sad because I don't get to see him on a weekly basis. Though he often stops by and checks on things in the off season. But working with Corey Yeoman and seeing his, I was fortunate to be on his first staff, And so, I've got to see and witness him become a head coach, take the reins over from a legend, and work side by side by Chris, and watch him be mentored into the coach that he is today. And and he's continuing to make sure that Coach Giesman's legacy is extended, and we're all an extension of him. And really, I view myself still as a player. I rarely do I call him Chris. It's Coach Giesman, and that's a term of endearment. Man that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and same thing with Coach Corey and what he means. And it's really important for me now to watch their growth as coaches expand to kids, because I've got a son coming up, and he'll be coming through, and he'll be joining that Penn Brotherhood, and it's really satisfying as a former player, as a former coach, to see that these kids are getting the same experience that I received, which has been just phenomenal, and played a key role in my life.
Well, can't go any better than that. Good enough. That's it, buddy. JP, waiting for you now. Corey, how you been, bud?
Good, Paul. Merry Christmas.
In advance, you too, buddy.
Thank you.